Jai Shri Raghava Ki Jai.
Vandeham Shri Guru Shiyata Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Sya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shivishikam Vitam Sya Om Jnana Timaranda Shagana Jana Shalakaya Chakshur Militam Yena Tasman Shri Gurave Nama Gorva Bhishtam Supurakam Guragana Rasisha Sambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Vedanapanam Shri Rupa Patanagam Govinda Bidam Ujwalam Bharatanam Bhaktyan Bidam Sundaram Mandi Vishwaguruncha Divyad Bhagavat Premno Ebijapranam Devam Divyatanum Suchandavananam Balarka Chilanshitam Sandrananda Puram Sadeka Varanam Vairagya Vidyam Buddhim Sri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Baram Mandetam Shivanam Mandeka Sharanam Nyashishvara Sridharam Vanchakopatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Bhatitanam Bhavenibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahabharanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratabhishe Namaha. So we're hearing from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, translation and commentary by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. This is Antya-lila, chapter 10. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepts prashadam from his devotees. Bande Shri Krishna Chaitanyam Bhaktanu Graha Kataram Yena Kenapi Santushtam Bhakta Datena Shradaya. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is always pleased to accept anything given with faith and love by his devotees and is always ready to bestow mercy upon them. Jaya Jaya Gaurachandra Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all glories to Sri Nityananda Prabhu, all glories to Sri Advaita Chandra, and all glories to all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya. Varshantare Sab Bhakta Prabhure Dekite Paramanande Sabe Nilachala Jaite. The next year, all the devotees were very pleased to go to Jagannath Puri, Nilachala, to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Advaita Charya Gosai Sarva Agra Ganya Acharya Ratna Charya Nidhi Srivas Adidanya. Advaita Charya led the party from Bengal. He was followed by Achyutananda, Acharya Nidhi, Srivas Thakur, and other glorious devotees. Jajapi Prabhura Agya Gode Rahite Tatapi Nityananda Preme Chalila Dekite. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had ordered Lord Chaitanya to stay in Bengal, but nevertheless, because of ecstatic love, Lord Nityananda also went to see him. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had ordered Lord Nityananda to stay in Bengal, but nevertheless, because of ecstatic love, Lord Nityananda also went to see him. Anuragera lakana e bidi nahi mane tara agya bhange tara sangera karane. Indeed, it is a symptom of real affection that one breaks the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, not caring for the regulative principles to associate with him. It says, due to real affection, vidinahi mane, the devotee doesn't care so much for vidimarg, for the path of just being bound by rules and regulations. Tara agya bhange tara. Therefore, Nityananda could neglect the order of Mahaprabhu himself to have, for the purpose of having Mahaprabhu's association. That Nityananda would neglect that order so that he could maintain association with Mahaprabhu. Rase jaichi gara jaite gopire agyadila tara agya bhangitara sange se rahila. During the Rasa dance, Krishna asked all the gopis to return home, but they neglected his order and stayed there for his association. Agya palane krishnera jaiche paritosh premi agya bhangile hoy kote sukha posh. If one carries out Krishna's order, Krishna is certainly pleased. But if one sometimes breaks his order due to ecstatic love, that gives him millions of times greater happiness. Vasudeva Datta, Murari, Gupta Gangaras, Shriman Sen, Shriman Pandit, Akinchana Krishnadas, Murari, Garuda Pandit, Buddhimantakan, Sanjaya Purushottama, Pandita Bhagavan. Shuklambar Nishingananda Arajata Jan Sabai Chalila Nama Najalikan. Vasudeva Datta, Murari Gupta, Gangadas, Shriman Sen, Shriman Pandit, Akinchana Krishnadas, Murari Gupta. We already heard Murari Gupta. It says Vasudeva Datta, Murari Gupta, Gangadas, Shriman Sen, Shriman Pandit, Akinchan Krishnadas, Garuda Pandit, Buddhimantakan, Sanjaya, Purushottama, Bhagavan Pandit, Shuklambar Brahmachari, Nishringananda Brahmachari, and many others joined together to go to Jagannath Puri. It would be impossible to mention the names of them all. Kulina Grami, Kanda Basi Milila Asiya, Shivananda Sen Chalila, Sabare Loya. The inhabitants of Kulinagram and Kanda also came and joined. Shivananda Sen took the leadership and thus started taking care of them all. He's the group leader while they're traveling. Raghava Pandit Chali Jalis Sajaya Damayanti Jatadravya Diache Korea. Raghava Pandit came with bags of food prepared very nicely by his sister Damayanti. Nana Purva Bhaksha Dravya Prabhur Jogya Bhag. Nana Apurva Bhaksha Dravya Prabhur Jogya Bhog. Vatsareka Prabhu Jaha Korana Upajog. Damayanti made varieties of unparalleled food just suitable for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to eat. The Lord ate it continually for 1 year. Amara Kashandi Ada Kashandi Jala Kashandi Nam Nembu Ada Amrakoli Bibida Bidan Amshi Amakanda Thailamra Amasata Jatnakori Gundakori Purush Purana Sukuta. These are the names of some of the pickles and condiments in the bags of Raghava Pandit. Amrakashandi, Arakashandi, Jalakashandi, Nembu Ara, Amrakoli, Amshi, Amakanda, Tailamra, and Amasattva. With great attention, Damayanti also made dried bitter vegetables into a powder. Sukuta Boli Avagya na Korea Chite Sukutaya J Sukha Prabhur Taha Nahi Panchamrite. Do not neglect Sukuta because it is a bitter preparation. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu derived more happiness from eating this Sukuta than from drinking Panchamrita, a preparation of milk, sugar, ghee, honey, and yogurt. Bhavagrahe Mahaprabhu Sneha Mantraloy Sukuta Pata Kashandite Mahasukapai. Since Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he extracts the purpose from everything. He accepted Damayanti's affection for him, and therefore he derived great pleasure from the dried bitter leaves of Sukuta and from Kashandi, a sour condiment. And it says, here the mention is Bhavagrahi Mahaprabhu, Sneha Mantraloy. He accepts the love, Bhavagrahi Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu accepts the love of his devotees. Sneha, out of his affection only. He accepts what his devotees give him. Manusya Buddhi Damayanti Kore Prabhurpai Guru Bojane Udare Kabu Ama Amahaya Jai. Manu Manusya Buddhi Damayante Kore Prabhurpai Guru Bojane Udare Kabu Ama Hoyajai. Because of her natural love for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Damayanti considered the Lord an ordinary human being. Therefore, she thought that he would become sick by overeating and there would be mucus within his abdomen. So what this really means is Damayanti, out of her natural affection for Mahaprabhu, she was concerned for him just as a mother would be concerned about her child. So she's concerned, and it's not that because she considers Mahaprabhu just an ordinary human being, but Mahaprabhu himself is showing himself not as the Lord, but as a devotee. So Damayanti's relating with Mahaprabhu as she would relate with an advanced devotee. She knows he's the Lord. She never forgets that. But she's relating with him as Mahaprabhu is showing himself to be not the Lord as a devotee, so she relates with him on through affection on that level. Therefore, she thought that he would become sick by overeating, and there would be mucus within his abdomen. Sukuta kaile se ama hoibeka nash, e snehamane bhavi prabhur ulas. Because of sincere affection, she thought that eating this sukuta would cure the Lord's disease. Considering these affectionate thoughts of Damayanti, the Lord was very pleased. Because of sincere affection, she thought that eating the sukuta would cure the Lord's any trouble he might have in his stomach. Considering these affectionate thoughts of Damayanti, the Lord was very pleased. Priyena sangratya vipaksha sanidav upahitam vakshasi pivarastani srajam nakachit vijaho jalavilam vasanti e premni guna navastuni. A dear lover strung a garland and placed it on the shoulder of his beloved in the presence of her co-wives. She had raised breasts and was very beautiful. Yet although the garland was tainted with mud, she did not reject it, For its value lay not in material things, but in love. So even some imperfection with the garland had some mud on it, but because it was from her beloved. She had raised breast and was very beautiful, yet although the garland was tainted with mud, she did not reject it, for its value lay not in material things, but in love. Daniya moharir tandula gunda korea naru bandiyache chini baka korea. Damayanti powdered coriander and aniseeds, cooked them with sugar, and made them into sweetmeats in the shape of small balls. Shunti kandanaru ara amapito har pritak pritak mandi bastrera kutuhali bitar. She made sweetmeat balls with dried ginger to remove mucus caused by too much bile. She put all these preparations separately into small cloth bags. She made sweetmeat balls with dried ginger to remove mucus caused by too much bile. She put all these preparations separately into small cloth bags. Kali shunti koli churna koli kanda ar. Katanama loibashata prakara achar. She made 100 varieties of condiments and pickles. She also made koli shunti, koli churna, koli kanda, and many other preppers. How many should I name? So koli here refers to berries. Berries. Powdered berries, another preparation berry. All this is many kinds of preparations made from berries, from dried fruits. Narikela kandu nara, arikela kanda naru ara naru gangaja, chira stayi kanda vikara korila sakal. She made many sweetmeats in the shape of balls. Some were made with powdered coconut, and others looked as white as the water of the Ganges. In this way, she made many varieties of long-lasting sugar confections. Chirastayi kira sar mandari vikar amritakar pura adi aneka prakar. She made long-lasting cheese, many varieties of sweetmeats with milk and cream, and many other varied preparations such as amra karpur. She made long-lasting cheese, many varieties of sweetmeats with milk and cream, and many other varied preparations such as amrita karpur. Shalika chuti danyera tapa chirakori Nutana Mastrera Bara Kutali Sababari. She made flat rice from fine, unboiled jhali paddy and filled a large bag made of new cloth. She made flat rice from fine, unboiled jhali paddy and filled a large bag made of new cloth. Kateka chira hudum Kore gritete bajia, chini pake naru koila karpuradidia. She made some of the chira, which is like rice flakes. She made some of the flat rice into puff rice, fried it in ghee, cooked it in sugar juice, mixed in some camphor, and rolled it into balls. So, Shali dhanyara tandula bhaja churna korea grita shikta churna koila chini paktiya karpura, maricha, lavanga, ilachi rasabas, churnadiya, nadu, koila, paramasubas. She powdered fried grains of fine rice, moistened them. She powdered fried grains. She powdered fried grains of fine rice, moistened the powder with ghee, and cooked it into a solution of sugar. Then she added camphor, black pepper, cloves, cardamom, and other spices, and rolled the mixture into balls that were very palatable and aromatic. And as a parenthetical statement, I'll say that, Bengal is famous for sweets. I mean, there are Bengali sweet shops all over India. And what the devotees, many of the preparations which the devotees cook in the temples, they're also Bengali sweets, like nice sandesh. And you can get sandesh, more particular to Bengal, but other sweets of theirs are. There's always almost some Bengali sweet shops in any big city all over India. Shalida nyera kai puna griteti bajia chinipak ugda koila karpuraridia. She took, here it says parched rice from fine paddy. Actually, koi, it's pronounced koi, is made from, paddy, which means there's still, the rice hasn't been completely dehusked. And they make puff rice from that. And it becomes koi. And the koi is a little different. And sometimes in the West we get puff rice is a little hard, but koi generally is very soft. It's very soft. And Govinda once made a remark that koi is very good for old people who don't have any teeth. I mean, that's a joke, but still, koi is very nice and soft, puffed rice that was made from paddy. She took parched rice from fine paddy, or this koi, fried it in ghee, cooked it in a sugar solution, mixed in some camphor, and thus made a preparation called ugda, or mudki. Mudki. Futkalai chornakori griteti bajaila chinipake karpurari dia narukoila. Another variety of sweet was made with fused peas that were powdered, fried in ghee, and then cooked in sugar juice. Camphor was added, and then the mixture was rolled into balls. So she made many kinds of these kind of sweet balls, would last a long time, and she sent them for Mahaprabhu, and they were to take with his meals. Kohite najani nama ejanme jar, aichi nama bhaksha dravya sahasra prakar. I could not mention the names of all these wonderful eatables, even in a lifetime. Damayanti made hundreds and thousands of varieties. Raghavera agya ara korana Damayanti duhara prabhute sneho paramabhakati. Damayanti made all these preparations following the order of her brother Raghava Pandit. Both of them had unlimited affection for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and were advanced in devotional service. Ganga Mritika Ani Bastrete Chaniya Panpadi Koriya Dila Ganda Dravya Diya. Damayanti took earth from the Ganges, dried it, powdered it, strained it through a fine cloth, mixed in aromatic ingredients, and rolled it into small balls. Made sweet balls even from the earth of the Ganges. Patal Mrit Patre Sandanadibari, Amasab Bastubare, Bastrara, Kutali. The condiments and similar items were put into thin earthen pots, and everything else was put into small cloth bags. Samanya jhali hoite, Dviguna jhali koila, Paripati kori saba jhali baraila. From small bags, Damayanti made bags that were twice as large. Then with great attention, she filled all the large ones with the small ones. Jali bandi moharadila agraha korea, tina bojari jali bahik krama korea. She then wrapped and sealed each and every bag with great attention. The bags were carried by 3 bearers, one after another. Sankepe kohilune jalira vichar, raghavera jali boli vikyati jahar. Thus I have briefly described the bags that have become famous as raghavera jali. They were made by Damayanti and sent with her brother Raghava Pandit. Jalira upara mansiba marak makaradvajakar pranarupe jalirake hayatatpar. The superintendent for all these bags was Makaradvajkara, who kept them with great attention, like his very life. Emate Vaishnava Sab Nilachali Aila Daive Jagannathera say Dina Jala Lila. Thus all the Vaishnavas from Bengal went to Jagannath Puri. By chance they arrived on the day when Lord Jagannath performs pastimes in the water. Narendra Govinda Nokate Shadiya Jalakrita Koresa Bhakta Ganaloya. Boarding a boat in the water of Narendra-sarovara, Lord Govinda performs his water pastimes with all the devotees. So Govinda is the Vijay Murti of Lord Jagannath. The Lord Jagannath deities, of course, being very large, when the pastimes with the Lord are to be taking the Lord in a boat or in a parade or something, when it's not Ratha Yatra, right? Taking the Lord in a boat, or for going to programs, they would use the Vijay Vigraha of Lord Govinda. Boarding a boat in the water of Narendra-sarovara, Lord Govinda performed his water pastimes with all the devotees. Se Kali Mahaprabhu Bhakta Gana Sange Narendra Aila Dekite Jalakeli Range. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arrived with his personal associates to see the jubilant pastimes of Lord Jagannath in Narendra-sarovara. Se Kali Aila Sab Godera Bhaktagan Narendrete Prabhu Sange Hoila Milan. At the same time, all the devotees from Bengal arrived at the lake and had a great meeting with the Lord. Bhaktagana Padayashe Prabhu Charane Utaya Prabhu Sabare Koila Alingane. All the devotees immediately fell at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the Lord lifted and embraced every one of them. Gaudiya Sampradaya Sab Korana Kirtan Prabhura Milane Ute Premara Krandan. The Gaudiya Sampradaya, consisting of all the devotees from Bengal, began congregationally chanting. When they met the Lord, they began to cry loudly in ecstatic love. Jalakrita Badya Gita Nartana Kirtan Mahakolahala Tire Salile Kelan. Because of the pastimes in the water, there was great jubilation on the shore, with music, singing, chanting, and dancing, creating a tumultuous sound. Gaudiya Sankirtana Ara Rodana Milia Maha Kolahala Hoila Brahmanda Bariya. Indeed, the chanting and crying of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas mixed and created a tumultuous sound vibration that filled the entire universe. Sabbakta Loya Prabhu Namilena Jale Sabloya Jala Krida Korana Kutuhale. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entered the water with his devotees and began his pastimes with them in great jubilation. Prabhura E Jala Krida Dasha Vrindavan Chaitanya Mangale Vistari Korijachan Varnan. In his Chaitanya Mangal, now known as Chaitanya Bhagavat, Vrindavan Das Thakur has given a detailed description of the activities the Lord performed in the water. Puna ihan barnile, puna rukti hoy, vyarta likana hoy, ara granta badoy. There is no use in again describing here the activities of the Lord. It would simply be repetitious and would increase the size of this book. Jala-lila kori Govinda chalila aloy, nijagana loya prabhu gela devaloy. After concluding his pastimes in the water, Lord Govinda returned to his residence. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to the temple, taking all his devotees with him. The deity referred to herein as Govinda is the Vijay Vigraha in the temple of Jagannath. When there is a need to take Jagannath somewhere, the Vijay Vigraha is taken because the body of Jagannath is very heavy. The Vijay Vigraha in the Jagannath temple is known as Govinda. For the pastimes of Narendra-sarovara, the Vijay Vigraha was carried there instead of Lord Jagannath. Jagannath Deki Puna Nijagare Aila Prashada Anaya Kore Prashada Anaya Bhakta Gane Kaujaila. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returned to his residence after visiting the temple of Jagannath, he asked for a large quantity of Lord Jagannath's prashadam, which he then distributed among the devotees so that they could eat sumptuously. Ishtagoshti Sabloya Katakan Loila Ishtagoshti Sabaloya Katakana Kaila Nija Nija Purva Vasaya Sabai Pataila. After talking with all the devotees for some time, Mahaprabhu asked them to occupy the individual residences in which they had lived the previous year. Govinda Tai Raghava Jhali Samarpila Bhojana Grihera Kone Jhali Govinda Rakila. Raghava Pandit delivered the bags of eatables to Govinda, who kept them in a corner of the dining room. Purvavatsarera Jhali Ajara Korea Dravya Bari Bare Rake Anya Grihe Loya. Govinda thoroughly emptied the bags from the previous year and kept them in another room to fill them with other goods. Aradin Mahaprabhu Nijagana Loya Jagannath Dekilena Shayotane Jaya. The next day, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went with his personal devotees to see Lord Jagannath when Lord Jagannath arose early in the morning. So they all went the next day to see the rising of the Lord. The next day, Mahaprabhu went with his personal devotees to see Lord Jagannath when Lord Jagannath arose early in the morning. Bera Sankirtana Tahana Ramba Korila Satya Sampradaya Tabe Gaite Lagila. After seeing Lord Jagannath, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began his all-encompassing Sankirtan. He formed 7 groups, which then began to chant. Shata Sampradaye Nritya Kore Satajan Advaita Charya Ara Prabhu Nityananda. In each of the 7 groups was a principal dancer, such as Advaita Charya or Lord Nityananda, Rakeshwara Achyutananda Pandita Srivas, Satya Raj Khana Ara Naraharidas. The dancers in the 7 groups were Vakeshwara Pandit, Achyutananda, Pandit Srivas, Satyaraj Khan, and Naraharidas. Shata Sampradaya Prabhu Korana Brahman, Morasam Pradaye Prabhu Aiche Sabarman. As Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu walked from one group to another, inspecting them, the men in each group thought, the Lord is within our group. Sankirtana Kolahale Akasha Bedila Sab Jagannath Basi Dekites Aila. The congregational chanting made a tumultuous roar that filled the sky. All the inhabitants of Jagannath Puri came to see the kirtan, the kirtan of the The congregational chanting made a tumultuous roar that filled the sky. All the inhabitants of Jagannath Puri came to see the kirtan. Okay. I'm going to stop here. Tomorrow we'll continue. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jadavaya Nama. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jadavaya Nama. Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama. Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama. Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan. Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan. Giridhari Gopinatha Marana Mohan. Giridhari Gopinatha Marana Mohan. Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra. Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra. Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Rupa Sanatam Bhatta Raghunath. Jai Rupa Sanatam Bhatta Raghunath. Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath. Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath. H.I. Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan. H.I. Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan. Jahoite Vignana Shabishta Puran. Jahoite Vignana Shabishta Puran. H.I. Gosai Jarmui Taradas. H.I. Gosai Jarmui Taradas. Tasabar Padarenu Mora Panchagras. Tasabar Padarenu Mora Panchagras. Tader Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanidvas. Tader Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanidvas. Janame Janame More Abhilas. Janame Janame More Abhilas. H.I. Gosai Jabe Braje Koilabas. H.I. Gosai Jabe Braje Koilabas. Radha Krishna Antya-lila Korila Prakash. Radha Krishna Antya-lila Korila Prakash. Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan. Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majayaman. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majayaman. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koryas. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koryas. Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Narottam Das. Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Narottam Das. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koryas. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koryas. Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Naratam Udas. Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Naratam Udas. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Haribo. 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 Jai Saparikara Shishi Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhari Ju Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parvajaka Charyashta Tarasara Shishimad Srila Bhakti Nirmala Acharya Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parvajaka Charyashta Tarasara Shishimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parvajaka Charyashta Tarasara Shishimad Srila Bhakti Rakak Shridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Rupanuga Guru Bharga Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Dasha Raghunath Shad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Premsiko Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasti Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Vishvavaranya Shila Jai Om Vishnupad Vishvavaranya Shila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Shri Navadip Dham Ki Jai, Shri Ram Mayapur Ki Jai, Saparshada Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai, Saparshada Shri Man Mahaprabhu Ki Jai, Shri Koladvip Ki Jai, Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai, Sokel Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Sevashram Ki Jai, Ganga Devi Ki Jai, Tulasi Maharani Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Govardhan, Sham Kuna Radha Kunda Kalindi Yamuna Jo Ki Jai, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, all the assembled devotees Ki Jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.